Surrounded by water, the island of Ireland is steeped in tradition and history, and our trip to this beautiful country will take us on a journey of a lifetime. Hello, my name is Tony Thomas. In this episode, we're going to take you to the beautiful island of Ireland, where we're going to explore the city of Dublin, take a train ride down to County Wicklow, and take a surprise visit to another country. I am so excited to take you on this journey to Ireland, one of the most beautiful places in the world, where the people are friendly, the pubs are excellent, the beer is good, and the countryside is spectacular. So let's take a journey together and explore Ireland. Arriving in Ireland is like stepping back in time. The rolling green hills are breathtaking, and the ocean view is rugged and awe-inspiring. Truthfully, there is no place quite like Ireland. Getting to downtown is a quick Uber ride from the airport. And our destination was the Westin Hotel, Dublin, right across the street from Trinity College. The first day was a long, exhausting day of travel, and for us, it was time to hit the sack and get ready for our 5 days in Dublin. Early on day 2, you could find me searching for a good cup of coffee. Just a short walk from the Westin Hotel, across the River Liffey, I found the Rolling Donut, where each morning I had a great cup of coffee. The River Liffey flows through the center of Dublin, dividing the city in half and providing the local waterfowl refuge from the tourists. Our first stop of the day was the Mollly Malon Statue on the corner of Grafton and Suffolk Street. Mollly Malone is a figure from Irish folklore. She is often called the Tart with a Cart, and it's said she haunts the streets of Dublin to this day. Our next stop was Dublin Castle, built in the 13th century on the site of a Viking settlement. Dublin Castle was the headquarters of English power in Ireland for 700 years, but our journey took us behind the castle to the beautiful sculpture gardens. Our day of exploring on our self-guided tour of Dublin brought us to St. Patrick's Cathedral. This busy building serves as a place of worship, a visitor attraction, and as a host for many events. Lunchtime was upon us, so we decided to head to John Fallon's Capstan Bar, where we were told you could get the best pint of Guinness in all of Dublin. My first taste of Guinness wasn't too bad, although I prefer a glass of Prosecco, and my husband will drink any IPA put in front of him. We had our first Dublin toastie, finished our cocktails, and we were headed off again. As we set out exploring the back streets of Dublin, it didn't take us long before we discovered that many of the front doors were painted bright colors. Ireland was colonized by the English, and legend says that when Queen Victoria died, the Irish were told to paint their doors black in mourning. In rebellion, they painted them bright colors. As evening was approaching, we headed back to the Temple Bar area of Dublin. It was there we discovered the Auld Dubliner pub and restaurant, where we had a fantastic dinner and, of course, a few pints. Sláinte to our first full day in Ireland. I'd been looking forward to day 3 for our entire trip. We were heading south for a day trip on the Irish rail system to Wicklow in County Wicklow. This trip would take us about an hour and a half in each direction. It was a half-mile walk from our hotel to Connolly Station, where we would grab our tickets at the ticket booth, and I had downloaded the app so I knew what time our train was leaving and what time we would arrive at Wicklow Station. Arriving in Wicklow was everything I had imagined it would be. A quaint little village with rolling green hills and a rugged coastline. And best of all, a river flowing through the center of town with a beautiful stone bridge. We headed into town to the famous Ernie's Bar. The atmosphere was authentic Irish, and it was time for a cocktail. We headed off to see the historic Black Castle in Wicklow. Wicklow is famous for its dramatic beauty thanks to the peaceful nature of the Wicklow Mountains and valleys and the breathtaking scenery along its coastline. As if I wasn't enchanted enough, this pebble beach below Black Castle was filled with sea glass and shiny rocks. And it was the perfect setting to take a photo of my gorgeous husband. We headed back to the harbor, to Blue Seafood and Bistro, where we had reservations for dinner. If you get the opportunity to visit Wicklow, Ireland, make this a priority on your stop. It was time to catch our train back to Dublin. On our way back to the hotel, we came across Crown Alley and the Old Storehouse, Dublin. It seemed like a great place to stop for a pint. And we were about to find out the evening would not disappoint when we met Ian McGovern, who would be our musician for a few hours of Irish entertainment. He was fabulous. Day 4 arrived with a surprise. We were headed to Edinburgh, Scotland. Even from the air, Scotland was one of the most beautiful places I had ever seen. On Victoria Street, we ambled into this beautiful restaurant on the upper level. We enjoyed a meal together where I had the best steak I've ever had in my life. And we enjoyed a glass of Prosecco and a beer before we headed off to see Edinburgh Castle. We only got to spend 10 hours in Edinburgh, but it will be a day I will never forget. Day 5 was our final day in Dublin, so I decided to take a stroll over the Halfpenny Bridge before we headed off to visit the oldest pub in Dublin. Established in 1198, the Brazen Head is Ireland's oldest pub. Our Ireland trip was even more magical than I could have ever imagined. We will be back. Cheers.